everybody. Happy Wednesday. Like when I ask what day it is, because it still throws me off for doing this on Wednesdays now. It's weird. Monday, I always was like, Happy Monday. It's the beginning of the week. It's the beginning of everybody's work week. Tonight, we had a guest named Jason Pitts, and we did a fair swap out for a friend of his that was involved in Night of the Beast. He was involved in the film and producing and all of that stuff where you were the actor that played Jason, right?
I was, yep. I'm the actor that played I'm James Stokes, and I played Jason Voorhees in the film Voorhees, Night of the Beast. Mm-hmm.
And so we are glad to welcome him on. We got an even swap, I think. At least we got a guest tonight, so I'm glad we didn't have nobody, because you'd just see me and Jason sitting here chitter-chattering about our weekend, I guess. And we're going to ask him some questions about his involvement in the project, and we're going to show the trailer and some other projects that he has been a part of to build his resume for acting and stuff. And why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself and some of the things that you've done.
Okay, well, my name is James Stokes. Been acting for a little over 10 years. It got started in just some little independent films, short films in Hopkinsville, Kentucky. A friend of mine was doing some short films in a Western setting, and went and on weekends and started doing that. And then met, it's like everything else. You meet one person and it leads to meeting someone else. And I met this guy named Danny Ramsey, a great writer and director himself here in Nashville. And he introduced me to his agent, which became my agent, and she started putting me out there. And at the time, I was a firefighter and EMT and all that stuff, paramedic and stuff, and was working at that full time, but just doing acting part time. And so after she started putting me in for some things like some commercials and stuff like that, a couple of years later, a little show called Stranger Things called and wanted me on it, and I got on that. And from there, I just said, you know what? I think I can do this, and I think I could do this for a living. And so I buckled down and started doing some things to make myself a better actor, and talked to my agents and got a couple more agents and all that stuff. And one thing led to another. And then, of course, me and Jason Pitts met on the set of another movie we was doing in Alabama. And we was at dinner one night. He was talking about doing this fan film about Jason Voorhees. And I'm going, oh, my goodness, I would love to play Jason. I said, if you ever decide to do that, then let me know. Well, then several months went by, nothing. And we was actually on the set of another film, and we was at dinner again. And he said, James, I about got this script done for Voorhees, Night of the Beast. And at the time, I don't think it was called Voorhees, Night of the Beast. It was just a fan film for Jason Voorhees. And he said, I would like for you to play Jason. And I mean, I was just ecstatic and like, absolutely, I'm not going to turn this down. So I started watching all the Friday the 13th and all that stuff, and actually even got a chance to talk to Kane Hodder, which in my opinion is probably the best Jason out there. And got to talk to him and learn a little bit about the character and the way he walked and the way he moved and all that stuff, because Jason doesn't talk. So being that Jason doesn't talk, everything is done in mannerisms and how he does things and how he kills people and stuff like that. And I know it sounds weird, but that's just the way it is. And after studying the character and stuff, I think that I brought to life the best Jason I could in the characterization of Kane Hodder and of James Stokes himself, because I like to take my own character and put my own spin on it as well. So anytime I'm doing a character, I'd like to make it my own. So that's how Jason came to be, or Jason Voorhees came to be with Jason Pitts.
Did they embrace you making kind of like your own signature? So I guess your own signature person or character of Jason Voorhees? Did they
absolutely
like that?
Yes, and when we, our makeup artist, our FX person, Shala Tempe, she is absolutely amazing. She made my entire suit. She took my measurements. I mean, the suit is made to me, and to me, that's more realistic than going out and buying a costume in a costume store You cannot find this costume or my Jason Voorhees costume in any store. This was made for me. So literally when it was put on me, it moved with every bit of my muscles and everything else. It moved with me. I give all the credit goes to her. She is absolutely phenomenal FX person. The mask itself is just, I'll show it to you later here after a while. But yes, they wanted me, Jason himself wanted me to make this character my own. And so, yes, some of the way that I walked and stuff, of course, if you watch any Jason film, they all are they're similar in the way they walk, in the way he kills people and what he does after he kills people, you know, the head tilt and all that stuff. And some people have a problem with the head tilt and stuff like that. That's everybody has their opinion about it. But if you watch the Friday the 13th, that's what Jason does, because he wants to make sure his kill doesn't move. And as long as it don't move, he moves on to the next. So, yeah, but Jason wanted me to make this character my own. So I did that as well. So
that's interesting.
Oh, cool.
To have to do homework to be a killer. Kind of funny.
It was something else. I mean, being in the suit itself, you know, you got to get used to the tightness of the suit. You know, the suit was fitted to me. So, I mean, everything, it was hard to get on because everything fits so tight. I mean, it was skin tight. But that right there in itself, it made it, when I walked, it looked like bones and stuff moving. It didn't look like it wasn't loose like a costume would fit. The mask itself was, you know, to my head. It's like literally I mean the detail in this thing,
that head, that's awesome,
is absolutely
I'm gonna make you bigger
amazing.
so you can see the head good.
Yes, the detail in this mask is absolutely amazing. And when you have it on, and you know, of course, she sprays it down to make it look realistic. So when it's on, it moves with my mouth, it moves with my face, so it looks realistic. And I think that's where a lot of people go wrong in making these fan films and stuff. I understand a lot of funding is a big part of fan films, and when you don't have, and we didn't have the budget like some of these people have. We had a $15,000 budget, and we made it look like $1 million film, and I'm not afraid to say that because I've watched it 10 times now, I guess, myself. And it is a film that looks like a film that you would see at the movie theaters. It's not cheesy. It's not done. I mean, the sound is right. The coloring is right. The acting is good. It's all there. And I'm sorry, but it's not really a fan film in my eyes. It is a fan film, of course. But in my eyes, this is a movie that I am very, very, very proud of. And I think Jason is very, very proud of. And I think I can speak for him. The man is an amazing writer. He is an amazing director. He knows this. He knows that I love him like a brother. And but he is an amazing writer and director. And he brought forth the actors that he needed. The writing was there to make a story, because a lot of fan films, if you watch them, really cheesy, really like you get lost in the story because there is no story. And we had an actual backstory to our characters. We had an actual if you watch the movie, and I hope you did, it just shows that there's a story behind every actor. And you get to know and like these characters before they start getting picked off one by one. So
I think that's the best part of any film, movie, or a sitcom or a show, is like getting to actually relate to each character and see yourself kind of being them. Like when you were in high school, you were them, or like when you knew this kid down the street that reminded you of this one character. Like someone, just personalization is. I think it's
absolutely. And I could go through, and we got a little time, so I can go through, but the acting, and I will start with Olivia Disney. I love her as a sister. I mean, she knows this. We are a family. I mean, the whole acting, everybody that was in this movie, we become a family. And me and Olivia have worked together in other things. Olivia is a freaking amazing actress. I mean, she is going, you will see her name up in the big time here before long. She's already headed that way, and she is just absolutely amazing. But she plays Chrissy in the movie, and you hate her. I mean, you end up hating her at the end. You're literally wanting her to die. And the reason being is because what she's doing at the beginning is, yes, she's trying to help her boyfriend, but ultimately what she's doing is just taking everybody to their death. And you realize this after they get there and stuff. It's like, you know, they find, you know, I don't want to tell a whole lot about the movie in case you haven't seen it, which I mean, a lot of people have seen it. We've got a lot of views over the last week and about a week and a half, but
that's exciting.
Yeah, but Olivia, it brings to that. I mean, she is definitely a lead character. I mean, she is amazing in this thing, and she plays Chrissy perfect, the girlfriend to the lead guy, which is Will. And my God, he is amazing as well. The whole cast and crew for this movie was absolutely put together by Jason and I guess by me and a couple of others. But it was just a great opportunity to bring everybody together and work together again.
Yeah, he's Jason. He's a pretty cool guy. You know, I met him at an event at a Comic-Con actually, and then we just got talking about different things, and then you know, our love for horror and everything. And I told him I'd reach out to him about having him on the show, and then he's like, "Yeah, man, that sounds like a great idea." And then I know sometimes schedules don't line up that way, but I did happen to buy that. Get a movie from him if you see that, but yeah, you know, and then
what is
you
it?
know, it's another film he made. Jason made
Masquerade.
I've actually heard of that, I think.
Well, that's a short film that he's did, and he's got some other ones that goes along with it. And Olivia Disney is the lead character in that as well. And it's just that it's a short film, and it's absolutely amazing. It's won all kinds of awards, from Best Actress to Best Director, Best Writing. I mean, that's what I'm talking about, and that's what I'm saying about Jason Pitts. He's phenomenal when it comes to writing and directing these movies, whether it be a feature or whether it be a short film. He's absolutely great.
Yeah, he mentioned this project like a while back, and I saw that, and then I was like, man, that'd be pretty cool. I wonder how that's going to come together. And it's like, because like you were talking about Jason earlier about like you know talking to Kane and building that, you know, around your character, how you're doing it, and then you know Jason is such a legend. You know, Jason Voorhees has been around for a while, and you know everybody knows who he is. So taking on that character.
That's the thing. If you're playing this character that is such an ironic character, everybody most people have watched something of Jason Voorhees or Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
So they know how this character is. So if you go out there and just do something totally off kilter or off that Jason would never do, everybody's going to see it. And they're going to go, this is terrible. You know, Jason would never do that. So in reference, we're making a fan film, which means you want to stick to the original ways that everybody does it as close as possible. So that's what we did. And so with me having the opportunity to talk to Kane and to be with Kane Hodder, I've got pictures on my Instagram of me and Kane at a con and all that together and stuff like that. And I was in full suit with him and all that stuff. So he loved the mask. He looked at the mask and loved it. And you know, there's critics out there that see the mask and say, oh, you know, I don't like the mask. Why did they go with that mask and all that stuff? But this mask is in coherence with what we were doing with this movie. So, and a lot of people have said they love the mask. So, you know, it's just a matter of opinion pretty much. But Jason took his knowledge of horror film, of Friday the 13th series, and made this fan film. And I think this is probably one of the best fan films out there. And I'm not being biased. I mean, I've watched a lot of fan films, and I've watched this one. And as far as production value goes, this one right here is top notch.
Yeah, man, that's pretty awesome. You know, it would be so hard to step into that role to to make sure, like you said, to keep it true to the original takes on it, and then do your own spin, but doing it within that lane at the same time.
Yeah.
You know,
And
and then
Jason put
yeah,
in some things, you know, with Jason's mom in there, you know, a flashback scene of Jason's mom and young Elsu. Elsu was the Indian guy that was trying to tell her to stay away from the dark magic and all that stuff, and stay away from Jason. And then Elsu is part of the hunting team that goes after looking for, I guess, Jason and Bigfoot at the same time. Huh?
Oh, I said, hey, Sherry, hey, Bill. There's a bunch of people saying hello.
Okay. And so
Sorry, I can't help you with that.
what was that?
Go ahead. Sorry, I don't know what happened. I was talking and my phone started talking to me. I'm sorry.
So yeah, you got the character of Elsu, and then of course you got Crete and Duke, and them two are coming together to go hunt. And well, then you got the Bigfoot hunters, which is played by Jacob Southwick. Sorry, Madman Fulton from he's a pro wrestler from Impact Wrestling. He's an Impact wrestler.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Madman Fulton. He's about 6'8", something like that. He's huge
Wow.
dude. And then the Bigfoot hunter, Kelly Lane, she played the other Bigfoot hunter. And those two, they all four came together as to be the hunting team. And you got Jacob and Kelly as the Bigfoot hunters, and then you got Elsu and Crichton looking for Jason. So they all, you know, go out in the woods and looking, and of course it don't end well for everybody. So it's you know, that's the way it is.
You got one or the other. You're gonna get Jason, or you're gonna get Bigfoot.
And that's right. I mean, you know, you got Bigfoot that is he loves the woods, and he protects the woods and woodlands and stuff like that. When you come on to his and there's a part in there, and this is the brilliance writing of Jason. You know, you got these rednecks out in the woods throwing beer cans and chicken bones and everything else out in the woods, and you know, and it makes Bigfoot mad, and he don't like that. So what he does, he takes them out. So that's just what it is. And
Right.
so, and then when you go on the other side of the road, they got Jason Voorhees at Crystal Lake. Well, you don't want to go in his domain because he's going to take you out too, and that's where the kids get in trouble. They go on the other side of the lake. So. Yeah, it's got a good point to the whole story, and it's only an hour long. It's a great watch. I mean, I hope everybody gets a chance to see it because it's really good.
Yeah, Rosie,
asking for the link for the movie. If you go to the fan page, I can take the link. If y'all want to continue talking, I can get the link and I can post it on here real quick for everybody. If y'all want to, Jason, you want to take over for a minute, and I want to get the link so everybody can go to their page.
Awesome.
Yeah, you're good. Yes, so I'm glad it kind of, you know, it's we'll have to reschedule Jason to come on here and get him on the show. But I'm glad it worked out this way, and then have you on. You're actually the second person we've had to play Jason Voorhees that's not been on the show.
Nice.
Yeah, we have Ari Lyman. He was on our show. You know, he was the very first Jason, the little boy, you know, in the camp and everything.
Yep.
The one comes
We're friends
out of the
on
water.
Facebook. Yeah, he's a cool dude.
Yeah. Ari's pretty awesome guy. It is cool, and it's like, you know, he never got to play the hockey match Jason or anything, but it is cool how he holds up that tradition. It's like once you play that character, no matter what era that was in, you know, you're linked to that, you know.
Well, he's the very first Jason. Come on, I don't care if he's got a mask on or not. He's the very first Jason. So everybody knows that he's the very first Jason, and that's awesome. So, yeah,
he is pretty cool, and he's a pretty cool dude. And then, you know, obviously we would, just like you did, we'd love to talk to Kane eventually, but you know, I'm sure he's probably kind of imitating kind of guy, you know, kind of being big as he is. And
Kane is absolutely amazing. He's one of the nicest guys. I mean, when you go to these cons and you go to meet him, he wants to meet everyone, and he's genuine about it. He's not doing it. He's not being forced to do it. When he's there talking to people, he literally takes time to talk to you. It's not like he's just going, yeah, I'll sign an autograph and get out of here. Yeah. It's not like that at all. And that's the type of guy that you want to be around, and that plays a character as Jason Voorhees like that. You know, Is he big Hollywood star? No, but he don't have to be, because the horror genre in itself has its own following, and it does. Yeah, I mean, the horror genre in itself is, if you in a horror film, and I absolutely love horror. I mean, that's not that I want to put myself in nothing but horror films. No, I mean, I've played other things, action films and everything else, but the horror genre is absolutely amazing, and I love making horror films. I do. I mean, I grew up watching horror, and I grew up with Jason Voorhees. I grew up with Michael Myers. I mean, I grew up with Freddy Krueger. And speaking of Freddy Krueger, Nightmare on Elm Street, I got to work with the whole crew. I got to work with Lisa Wilcox. I got to work with Danny Hassel and Mark Patton, all in the same movie. And that's Reunion from Hell 2. We was up in Gatlinburg, Tennessee for 10 days straight, and we was in a cabin together, and we shot a film up there for 10 days straight. And I got to play Lisa Wilcox's boyfriend in the movie, and turned out really good. I mean, it was great. Working with those people were absolutely amazing. I mean, that's horror legends right there. And I love it.
For sure.
I'm casting another movie in Vegas called Campfire with Dee Wallace, and I mean, she's amazing. I got to be in a film with Lynn Lowry. I've gotten to talk to Eileen Dietz several times on the phone. I mean, it's just horror legends, and it's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's like once you're in that world, and you're involved with all those, like you just said, legend is.
Yep.
I mean, and now you got those films, and you're obviously playing this iconic character, Jason Voorhees, and then. I mean, it ties you right into that. So, I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I hope when people see this that they will. I mean, of course, that's what I want. I want people to see this and notice, my acting and my passion for the acting and the characters and stuff like that. Because when I do become a character, I become that character, and that's what I like about acting, is becoming something that you're not. Obviously, right. I'm not a serial killer that sets out in the woods and kills people, but being to play that character is absolutely phenomenal. And if I'm going to play a character, I'm going to do the best I possibly can to make that character come to life.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you find it like more satisfying to play like you're talking about, like in action movies, like more like the hero type, or do you like playing the bad guy, like where you get to just be your, kind of kill people and everything, but.
Well, I've played both. I've been in an action film where I have not been like the bad guy. I've been pretty much the good guy. And I was in a film called Adrenaline that should be out later this year. It'd be a Lionsgate film. We shot it in Romania, and it was absolutely phenomenal to shoot overseas like that. And I think playing characters that. I think it broadens my horizon when I can play different characters, from being a serial killer to a dad, or to a preacher, or to a cowboy, or something like that. Yeah, I love diversity. I mean, that's the whole thing about being an actor, is you got to be diverse, and that's what I love about it.
Right. That's pretty cool.
You played a paramedic, right, in Stranger Things?
I did. Yes, it was a role in season 3. And I played a paramedic, and I was with Millie Bobby Brown and the whole cast of kids, and they was absolutely phenomenal. And that was a great opportunity. I mean, being on a set as big as Stranger Things, it showed me a totally different light on as far as the acting world. That set was totally different than an independent movie set. You don't have, the independent movie sets doesn't have all the moving parts that this big show like Stranger Things has, with a budget of millions upon millions of dollars, where they're bringing in tanks and they're bringing in army vehicles and, cop cars, ambulances, and all that stuff. You just, to be on a set like that, I mean, it changes your whole aspect as an actor. I mean, it really does. I mean, it shows you what the big boys do, and it's life changing. It was for me anyway. And I don't take that for granted. I don't take any role that I have for granted. And being on the set of Stranger Things, it was absolutely amazing. Being on the set, like on the Oxygen Network, Snapped, and Mark of the Killer, and being on national TV like that on the Oxygen Network, I love stuff like that. I get to play a cop. I get to play a killer. I get to play a victim. I mean, it's so many things, but it gives me that diversity of being an actor. And it shows that my range is from here to here. You know, it's not just stagnant right there. I got range. So that's what I love about it. Yes.
I think it's good to have that range.
Yeah, for sure. Because you don't want to be, you don't want to be typecast and just have one thing.
A lot of actors, I think they get stuck in a certain persona role, and they keep getting cast many times as that certain persona and certain role in a film or a movie.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And then, she's an absolute Stranger Things freak right there. She's obsessed with it. So
that's awesome.
Anything you want to get me ever for my birthday, for Christmas, for anything, just anything Stranger Things. I don't care what it is.
That's awesome. And it's an absolute. I love the show. I do. It's the writing, everything about it is
calendar. Is I had some new posters I was going to put up, but I didn't get time to put them up today. Yeah.
That's funny. Hey,
were you filming long hours making this film? Someone just asked. Okay, that's a great question. The hours were very long. Like there was days where we was 14 hours on set, and we would go. Of course, this is a Jason film, so a lot of it shot at night. We had lots of overnight shoots, and we would start between like 6 and 7 o'clock at night, and we would not be gone until way on up into the morning, and it was already daylight by the time we left. And you're talking anywhere between 14 and 16 hours. And me and Jason, I remember there was nights where we didn't sleep because the next day we had to do something to get a set ready or to get the next shot ready to be filmed that night. So we had a lot of things to do. We had a generator that went out on us. And see, that's the thing. When you're doing independent films like this, you gotta be ready for things to go down. A generator that we have to make our lights at night, to light up the area to where you can see it. We had to get it far enough away to where you couldn't hear the generator, but you could still see the lights. So there was a lot of logistics that went into making this film that was very hard on us as producers and the crew that had to be out there all the time getting everything set up. So long hours, yes. There was several days out of the 10 or 12 days that we was on set that was 14-hour days. Great question.
Was there any weird weather obstacles?
Actually, we had great weather just about the entire time. It got cold at night. We were shooting in October, and we was up in Louisa, Kentucky. So the weather got cold, and it was very miserable on some nights. You got the dew and stuff coming down, and it was wet, but it was cold. So catering services. Yep. We had catering that came in at like 2 o'clock in the morning. It was a big truck that made the food in the truck, in one of those trucks. And we paid a guy to come, and he made the food right there on set. And we just all went up there and got a plate lunch. It was really nice. Nicole says that this film is absolutely amazing. No, thank you so much. Yep, we worked a lot of hours to make this film happen, and Jason is definitely the key and the head of this whole thing, this head of the snake. And I tell you, it was a team effort. Jason will tell you the same thing. It was a team effort, but we shed a lot of blood and tears over this film, and and I'm so proud of the way that it turned out. Will Reed ended up being our editor. He was also the lead in the thing. He played Will in the movie, and it just turned out to be absolutely amazing.
That's pretty cool that everybody had the same dedication to make that happen. Like you're saying, moving set stuff and getting everything ready for the shoot and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's cool that everybody showed that the willingness to do that, to make it happen.
Where did you guys have to sleep during the intermediate nap sessions?
Well, that was troubling in itself, but we had Some people slept in we had a, what was it? It was like it wasn't a hotel. It was like a theater that had some rooms in it over top in Louisa. And Marcia Sloan, which is the mayor's wife there in Louisa, she helped us get that. And then, of course, Jason rented some cabins out there where we was actually shooting. And some people stayed in there, and then some people just was put up in different homes and stuff. But it all worked out in the end, and everybody had a place to sleep, and everybody had a place to eat, and everybody had plenty of food and stuff, and it turned out really good. We tried to shoot people in increments. That way the day players that was only there for a day or so, we could get them in and out, and that way the rest of the crew that was going to be there the entire time, we could all combine and stay in other places. So
Get the
it
people
worked
out of the way
Yeah.
so you don't have to share your food in your sleep place.
Right.
Right. Do you know how long it took Jason to write the script for this film before you could start shooting? No, I don't know that answer right off the top of my head, how long it took him to write this script, but I do know that there was about 3 or 4 months went by from the time we had talked about it the first time to the time he called me and said, hey, we're going to do this. So that's a question for Jason Pitts. I'm hoping that y'all have him on sometime and really talk to him. He is an amazing person, but that would be a great question for Jason Pitts. I don't want to tell you an exact answer because I don't know. All I know is that there was about 3 or 4 months went by there, maybe 5 that went by that we didn't hear anything. And then all of a sudden he called and said, hey, the script's about done. This is when we want to shoot this.
That's pretty awesome.
If you guys
So,
want me to, I'll go ahead and show the trailer. Or do you
that's what I was
going to
say, yeah.
first? Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and show the trailer.
Oh, you got the absolutely, yeah. Show the
I'll
trailer.
pull it up
That's
from
great.
Facebook. All right. Here we go. Let's do screen sharing. Oh, wait. You see it?
Yeah, can you make it bigger? There you go.
Wait, did it stop?
Yeah.
Hang on. I gotta press play again. Is this the trailer? Yeah, okay. Is this the movie or the trailer? This is the movie. Sorry, I already had the movie pulled up. I'm gonna get it here. Here. Show me, Jason, when you can see it. See it?
Nope.
Oh my goodness. Share. There, okay.
Look, Mark he hasn't slept through the night since he's moved in with me.
This is a bad idea.
You ready to do this?
You shouldn't go in there.
If you go, you're doomed. You're all doomed.
You don't think he's really out there, do you? All I know is there's been bodies out there over the years. I'm more inclined to believe the legend than not.
That's a fairly expensive question, John. I'm not sure you want to pay that
Go to hell, you son of a bitch.
What's it cost?
Give me a hand. I suspect we'll find more bodies.
Awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm really proud of this movie. I mean, it's amazing the people that we brought together. C.J. Bernard, he played Creighton Duke and did a phenomenal job. I mean, he went back and watched Creighton Duke and his character and stuff, and he just brought to life a whole new character of the Duke, and he just did a phenomenal job. Buddy Campbell, he played cousin Eddie in it, and he's phenomenal. I mean, he's a character actor, and that's the reason I want people to, when they watch this, to really look at the characters and look them up and see what they've done. These actors are, I guess you would call all of us no names as far as big names, but amazing actors. I mean, look at some of the stuff that they've done, from Olivia to Will. Will played Mark, you know, the guy that and the backstory of Mark was just amazing. And it's just all the characters from Jessa, she's a new actress. I mean, she coming forth and playing the role of who did she play? Jessa was Debbie, and the blonde. You know, you always have a ditzy blonde in the Jason films and stuff, and she played that role to a T. I mean, she was perfect for that part. And I was so glad to be able to get a hold of her and ask her to do that role. And she gracefully just said yes, and she would do it. And she literally played it to a T. And Gary Swift as an officer, he's a real officer in Arkansas.
Yeah, awesome.
And he played one of our officers along with Bradford Norris. They was our officers, and they did such a phenomenal job. I mean, they look. I mean, yes, Gary's a real officer, but they just look like. And Bradford, my God, me and him's played cops on Oxygen Network for Mark of a Killer and all kinds of stuff. So, but he just looks that part. I mean, and that's the thing. We cast people in this thing, and they look like that part. I do want to tell you a funny story. An actress that she's young and everything. Her name's Sierra Ebert, and she played Laura. She was one of the kids in it. And she's going to kill me one of these days. But in every one of these interviews, I always have to bring this up. But we didn't get to film her death scene in Louisa. We ran out of time. I mean, we literally just ran out of time. So we decided, being that she lives in Arkansas, Jason asked me if I could come to Arkansas one weekend and film her death. And I said, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Well, we was going to do it. I will just tell you, we was going to do it and me chase her into the water, and she's looking around, and then all of a sudden I pop out of the water and bring her back down in the water, and I kill her in the water and then drag her out. Well, it was just too cold. We couldn't do it. It just a lot of things.
Can you tell us where in Arkansas that y'all filmed that part?
I can't, because I'm not sure. It's really close to Alma, I think.
Alma? Is it?
Alma? I don't know. That would be a Jason tip. I just remember.
We might have to go do a drive around and look and watch the movie. Go drive around and find where you guys were.
It was at this man's house. It was at this. He had a log cabin, him and his family, and they would gracefully enough let us come on his property and film in his woods. And it was a perfect area. It's down a hill into a wooded area. Mm-hmm. The woods were just broke up enough that we had plenty of room to run around. But This is the funniest thing about her. Every time that I would go to kill her, she would smile. And it's like, I would literally go to do this with the thing. And she was like, I mean, she was just so happy. And it's like,
sounds
Sierra,
like me.
you gotta look scared, sweetheart. You can't be happy to die. And it's like, just took us so many takes to get it because, I mean, I'm dying laughing in my mask. Ain't nobody see me anyway. But she is like laughing every time I go to kill her. And it's like, you're so funny. But she was amazing. I mean, she was absolutely, watch her character, and her character was Laura, and she's like this grunge kind of like don't give a crap about nothing, and through the entire film it's just really good. And then I like talking about the kids because, and I say kids, they're older, they're in their 20s, but to me they're a kid. What is his name? Xavier Jones played Paul. Oh my God, I have never met a talent. This kid is absolutely brilliant. He is just a great actor. I would love to work with him again on something, and anything that I can find for him to be in, I'm going to have him in it. But he is an absolute, that's what I'm saying. If people would go and look at these actors and follow them, they will find that these people are really good actors and actresses. They're amazing. And I want to bring that any kind of interview or any kind of platform that I have to be able to promote these people. I want to do it because I love them. They are my family. They're my friends, and I want them to succeed and make it. And everything that they do, I absolutely love them. So that's what I like to do.
Have you worked with several actors? Have you worked with several actors more than one time on several different projects?
Oh, I have. Yeah, a lot of these characters, a lot of these actors here, CJ, Olivia, Kelly Lane, who else? Buddy Campbell. Me and him's worked on several things together. So yes, a lot of these actors I have worked with several times, and they are just phenomenal. Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure
That's
it's
awesome.
good to see them as your family because you got to kind of have a chemistry to be able to spend that much time together.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but you mentioned her. You mentioned her smiling all the time when you go to kill her. I mean, I was just going to be thinking how cool it would be to be killed by Jason Voorhees in a movie. I mean, that's
It's absolutely. But she was so fun, and her mom. Oh my God, her mom's was one of the makeup and XF artists on the set. Absolutely brilliant. I mean, they're just they was so fun to be with, and we just. I mean, shoot, we lived together. I mean, practically we lived together and ate together and did everything together. And we became a really close family. So, yeah, the FX people we had on set was phenomenal. Yeah. And it shows. And, I mean, this stuff right here is
really,
that's no joke. I mean, you see that in the back alley with this mask on right here. It's no joke. It's scary. So it's amazing. Yeah,
I'm glad you showed that head because I didn't know what you had there, and that head is what is iconic to me in remembering Jason movies. Is what his real face actually looks like.
Sure, I mean, literally from the scars down the head to the bullet hole in the mask. I mean, it's all there, and so the if you watch the Jason films, you find out how he gets part of his mask cut off there. And how he loses an eye and all that stuff. It's absolutely phenomenal. I mean, the homework was done when this movie was made. I'll tell you that. You can tell everyone studied their character, especially like Preet and Duke and Jason and Elsu and stuff like that. And you can tell that those characters, the actors studied their part before they came to set. I mean, they really brought forth the character.
The past characters, I feel like, are a little bit even more important than the new characters. Like the past characters from the past, you can't make them look bad. You know what I mean? Like you got to make them still look good because you're redoing a character that already was there, so you can't be worse than they were before.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but how long do you think it took them to get that head? Just, I mean, I know a lot had to go into it, but I mean, the research and everything to get what they wanted there. I mean,
well, I'm telling you right now, Shala, Tempe's. She's the FX person that made all this stuff. It did not take it. She amazed me. I mean, I'm not kidding you. I mean, I sent her. I mean, I got a 50-inch chest, and I sent her all my measurements. And when I got on set the first time, was the first time that I'd ever. I mean, we was on set getting ready to film. Was the first time that I ever put the suit on.
Oh wow!
And now you talking about nerve wracking? It's like, what if this thing don't fit? It's like, but it fit to a T. It just seemed like everything fell into place. I mean, when we got to Louisa and we was in this, the basement of this, golly, I'm losing train of thought here, but we was in a lady's basement, and she offered her home to us to be able to film or to be able to set up and have everything there. Well, I was down there putting the thing on, and it like fit like a glove. I mean, it took me a while just to even get the thing over my wrist because it fit so tight.
Yeah.
I mean, we literally, she was I mean, I was bracing myself, and she was pulling this thing up my arm trying to get it on because it fits so tight. And it just, when I was finally in it, and I had to hold my breath for her to button it or to put it all together in the back. And then when I let my breath out, I mean, literally everything moved with my body. It looked
That's
real.
just crazy. Were you like, this is me, I'm powerful?
No, it was like, I can't breathe. So it was I mean, having this thing on, it's hard to breathe because the nose, there's no nose things or nothing. You know, we cut the mouth open just so I could have a little breathing thing there. I could keep it on for about, I ended up keeping it on for about 45 minutes at one time. But after that, I mean, I'd have to take it off to get air and to breathe.
Yeah.
It was just hard to breathe in it. But
It's awesome you got to keep one of those. It's really awesome.
Yeah, this is the actual mask from the film. All of this. I got to keep the entire suit. We was in Arkansas, and the night I was killing Sierra, and that was the final shot. We literally had to kill her, and that was it. The movie was wrapped, and we wrapped the movie. He called it done, and we're standing there, and Jason got everybody that was there. It was only a few people that was there. Olivia was there, and a couple others. But Jason gathered us all around and said, look, you know, and he started crying and made everybody else cry. And it was like, you know, he was just because I'm telling you, this was a heartfelt, blood, sweat, and tears movie that he worked hard for, and he turned out really good. But he got everybody around and said, you know, I want to thank everybody and all that. And I want to thank he thanked me for being there and doing the Jason. And he said, you know, and my thanks to you is I'm going to give you the entire suit. And
oh, wow.
And I'm standing there still with this mask on and crying and got this mask on, and all I could do was hug him. So it looked like Jason Voorhees was just breaking down into, you know, and I don't mind telling that story because I'm man enough to do it. I don't care.
The sensitive side of Jason Voorhees.
It's just, and that's stories that people don't get to see or get to know about.
Yeah.
And I like letting people know that this is not just making a movie. This was a family that was brought together by the love of making movies. And that's the whole thing is Jason brought forth a great script, a great knowledge of horror films, and us as actors brought forth all the characters and made a great film. And I think it shows on film or on screen now that how much we all came together and made this thing possible. Will Reed, I'm going to give him, I do this all the time too now. Our editor, Jason Mansfield, had a stroke. And we pray for him all the time. And he's doing better. He's doing a lot better. But he was not able to finish editing the film. We didn't know what we was going to do. Well, Will recently got out of school for editing. But he had never edited a feature film before, which I talked to Jason about, and I'm worried that, you know, he never done a feature film before. You know, what's he going to do? This kid is absolutely phenomenal. And I would let him edit anything that I ever did in my entire life because this kid is amazing. If you watch this film, this is editing at its finest. He did things that, I mean, he made the coloring. He did coloring corrections. He did sound corrections. He did, I mean, he placed things, he made things come together to where they flowed and all that to what a film needs to look like. Everything you see on screen is done by Will Reed, and Jason helped too. Don't get me wrong. Jason did some of the first editing, but Will had to take this thing. He literally did it in just a few months. He took all the notes that me and Jason had. Jason, oh my God, Jason probably threw all kinds of stuff at him saying, hey, I need this changed, need this put in, need this done, need this. And literally he would do it within a day or two. And it's like, oh my goodness. You know, and this kid, he is amazing. And I love this kid. And he's great. He's a great actor as well. But he's a good editor. I give him credit for making this film.
It's a lot of work to edit.
Oh, it's a lot of work.
So much work. I would almost say it's like the same or even maybe almost more work than acting because you sit there and you just redo it and redo it and redo it and redo it and redo it. We've talked to some people that have been like producers and editors and they created the film and they said that they took them a year to get the sound and the music and the overlay and the editing done.
Yeah. That's crazy. So I just gotta have to ask this: well, the very first time you put that on and saw yourself as Jason, like, what was your thought on that?
I felt like that I wanted to kill somebody. I mean, I mean, it did. When I first put the whole thing on, it was like surreal. I mean, I looked at myself in the mirror and it's like, holy crap! I look like my first thought was I look like Kane Hodder. And it's like, I mean, because Kane Hodder, I mean, I love Kane. I mean, I do, not just as a character actor, but as a person as well. I mean, he's a great guy. We spent some time together and got to talk and talk about the character and talk about acting and playing in horror films and stuff. And he's an amazing guy. I mean, he took the time to talk to me. It wasn't like he was being forced to do anything. He talked to me like a friend. And so, but yeah, when I put this thing on, it was like, holy crap, it looked like Kane Hodder. And it's like, you know, and I felt amazing. I mean, I felt invincible. I mean, so Clint Myers says Will's talents came
through in his acting and editing. This crew really cares.
Absolutely, 100%, and that's great. Yes, thank you for noticing that, and thank you for saying that. Yes, I mean, everybody took their role and took their character, and when they got to set, everybody knew their lines. Everybody knew what they're doing. You know, Jason would direct, and we would do it, and it would be like, perfect, let's do it again for safety, or let's do it again for just to have something else, and just to have something for editor to use and stuff like that. It was great. I mean, it was perfect. Yeah, so thank you for bringing that up. But yes, the editing was absolutely awesome.
Awesome. So
Someone said that you're a proper Jason too.
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that because I worked hard on being a proper Jason.
Editing is an art that results need to mimic life. It's so critical to have that eye and ear for seeing what you have and how it can be transformed.
Absolutely. And that's the thing, you know, being a producer myself and being able to, one of my biggest things is sound. I mean, you know, when it comes to a movie, if I watch an independent film and you hear the difference in how, okay, that guy wasn't mic'd up, or that guy, there's no boom mic here. And you can literally hear, being an actor now, being on set, and I don't like that. And that's, if you're going to be in a film and if you're going to make a film, make it right, or at least attempt to make it right. Mic your actors up. Make sure you have a boom mic. You need 3 or 4 different ways to get the sound, because if you're talking, if you're in a room and you're just talking, yeah, that's great. But when you're outside in the woods, there's all kinds of sounds. There's all kinds of stuff that this stuff will pick up. The only way that the actor is going to sound right is being mic'd up. And we had a great sound man on set. And Lon, he was absolutely, I mean, we probably had $20,000 worth of sound equipment on set.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this was no joke, man. And our cameraman, oh my God, he brought some of the best cameras around out there. And by the end, on the fight with Jason and Bigfoot, we had 3 cameras on that shot. There was 3 cameras doing that shot. So, and they was all Black Magics. I mean, great cameras. I mean, they're top-notch, top-of-the-line cameras.
Somebody else uses those that we know. I think it might have been Matt when we interviewed him about the Harrisburg hunting.
Good cameras.
Yeah. So our casting, our crew was absolutely amazing, and our crew wasn't very big, but we had a great AD, and we had a great director, and so yeah, I mean, it was amazing. I mean, it was everything just came together and gelled together perfect.
Awesome.
I'm getting the links really quick. Go ahead.
As we can say, I was just going to say we're just about out of time. If you wanted to
get the links, and I'm putting Voorhees Night of the Beast Fans is the page on Facebook. It has all of the links on that page. It has the trailer and the movie link on that page, and all of the other great tidbits that they've put on there for like celebrating how many views that they've gotten so far and how many followers that they've gotten so far. I wanted to post it in the comments real quick too.
Yeah.
As far as me, people can follow me on Facebook, on Instagram. Go to my IMDb page. My IMDb is, just James Stokes. My Instagram is actor James Stokes. Facebook is James Stokes. So you can follow me. I've got a lot of stuff coming up, man. I've got a big movie going in Las Vegas called Campfire. It's already on my IMDb. James, this almost seemed like a college course. Well,
She learned stuff.
I will take that. You know what? If someone can learn something from what I'm saying, that's absolutely. Bailey was great AD. Oh, good Lord, yes. Bailey was amazing. I mean, Bailey was pretty much the backbone. Her and Amy Lynn Woodard was probably the backbone of our casting. I mean, they kept Jason up to date on everything. Yes, thank you for bringing that up. I should have said something about that earlier, but Bailey Freeman and Amy Lynn, oh my God, without those 2 girls, we would not have done what we did. They were there, I mean, constantly had their script supervisors, AD, made sure everybody was where they're supposed to be at every time. I mean, yes, thank you for mentioning that. I'm so sorry.
And you have a TikTok also, right? And you have other platforms.
I do have a TikTok. Yep, I'm on TikTok. I'm on Instagram. All kinds of aspects of social media. But please go to my IMDb page and look up some of the things that I've got coming up. Look up Campfire and look at the cast for that. It's amazing. I mean, the cast is going to be amazing. I've got some overseas things that I've got planned coming up in Bulgaria and Spain and stuff like that. Got a few movies with Lionsgate that I'm going to be shooting over there. Got another big film, can't say a whole lot about right now, that I'm working on. So yeah, I've got some really good things coming up this summer that I'm gonna be pretty busy. But yeah, thank y'all for having. Yep, thank y'all for having me on. And
yeah, for sure.
I'm glad that I was available. Jason just at the last minute said he couldn't do it and just asked me if I could do it, and I said absolutely. So
thank you.
But thank y'all for having me on. It's been great talking to you. I'm hoping that I answered all your questions, and I did a lot of talking and stuff like that. So.
All right, man. Yeah, it's nice meeting you. Thanks for being on, and we'll see everybody later.